Hey everybody, it's Irene with BrainStormAcres, and you're with me this morning. First thing, cat's been in, cat's been out, cat's been in, cat's been out, everybody's been fed. And Jack and I are going to go up the hill. This leash is more symbolic than anything else. It lets him know that I'm serious about taking a walk, that he needs to come with me. It's not really intended to control him very much, but it does make him listen to me those times when he doesn't want to. For instance, I'm sure he's going to want to sit here and water these plants because the neighborhood dogs can come through the outside barbed wire fence and they will pee there. Come on. Now, none of those dogs should be running loose. It's against the law. And to be honest, it's a very dangerous thing, because if you have your dog running loose and a rancher catches him or her chasing some of his cattle, they have the right to shoot them, and they will. So, letting Fluffy run free in the wilds is a great way to have to replace Fluffy. Okay, wading through the junk, past the truck, and up the hill. Jack and I are going to be checking the tanks this morning. And I believe it's about time to switch between the two water tanks. And we just slowed down on the hill because Jack wants to sniff. Right, Jack? He says, I do. I want to sniff. He says, this is good sniffy stuff up here. And I'm just going to toss his leash on him, and I will go ahead to the tank because he's not going anywhere. He's just going to wander around up here. He wears a GPS collar, so if he were to get out of my sight and not respond immediately to me calling him, we didn't really use any water to speak of yesterday, so we're still okay. I can feel where the water is, and it's still very close to 400 gallons. Now, 400 gallons is kind of a misnomer because, as you can see, the actual water out is here. So you have about 150 gallons left in here when it's no longer able to be used. But this tells me that I can go ahead and run the dishwasher this morning without any problem, and probably a tub of laundry and some stuff like that, because I have some general, house stuff to take care of. This tank over here has about 1,700 gallons in it. It's supposed to have more than that. We've been having an issue, and that's a whole another can of worms and conversation. All right, I need to find the dog. Jack! Jack, Jack, Jack! There you are. Oops. Here we are, doing our business. We'll give him some privacy. You don't really need to watch a dog poo. Hey, Jack! Come on, dude. We're gonna go down this way. He's like, oh, Mom, do we have to? He says, but I pooed. Yes, you did, honey. And it wasn't in the yard. So, okay, we had a bunch of rain this week. There are the remnants of hurricanes, which turned into tropical storms, which turned into tropical depressions, which turned into messy rain that will be hitting Arizona and New Mexico and Colorado and parts of Utah. And they haven't been totally certain. We saw some very serious forecasts, and then we saw some wimpy forecasts, and right now we got some wimpy forecasts for today. Our chance of precipitation for most of today is about 15%, and It does go down, I think, into single digits for a little while this afternoon. And we'll have to see what really happens. We'll be watching. There are a couple things I need to do outside, so it's kind of a balancing act of when do I try and do things. Like there's a big gray cloud over there that's obviously a cell, and I will need to be careful about things like that. For instance, I wouldn't disgorge the truck if I thought that was going to land on us. Come on, Jack, we need to go in here. I have to check the irrigation in the greenhouse. Okay, the fan just turned on, literally as I came up to the door. And I want to make sure that things did well here. And they did do pretty well. Some of the plants still have too much water. Nobody seems to be in distress, however, which is an important concept. Oh, I see. This is actually still running. Okay, well that's good. I can see that these are running well, see? That's a good thing. I may move this over a little. This is my thyme. It's been super slow growing. But it's still alive, which is the whole point. I did manage to reduce the water down there. And increase the water back in here, so it's doing better. We still have more water loss in here than I would like. It's still leaking in a couple of spots here. There's a limit to what I can do about that. We are finally starting to get some of the canary, yellow canary cherries. In fact, that actually feels like it's ripe. Yeah, that is ripe. Okay, I will pick. I see two that look like they might be ripe. This one, and let me peek under here. See if there's any in here that are ripe. I'm not impressed with the health of this plant. But, yep, I actually do have a couple of these guys that are ripe. So, I'm going to, let's see, where can I put this? It's like, where can I put this? I don't have a regular tripod with me, I just have a baby tripod. So, we'll put the baby tripod down here, and hopefully you'll be able to see something when I'm doing this. This is watering nicely these days. I'm very pleased with that. All of a sudden, this is funny because I've been watching these things very carefully, and we've gone from no ripeness at all to like a gazillion of them on here, right? Literally overnight. Okay, well that's cool because we really wanted to taste these. I'll take that. Skin on these is not pretty. It's but it looks like it'll be tasty. Need to check these guys again too. These are invincibles, and I'm not seeing any here that are screaming harvest me. They're okay. Let's see, what else do we have? Cucumbers. I harvested one big cucumber yesterday. Well, we're starting to see more and more turn ripe. The problem is their timing may not be the greatest. I'll grab a red robin. See all those tomatoes that are starting to do their thing. Tell you what, this basil I am incredibly happy with. This is the basil we got from Johnny's Select Seed, and wow, wow, wow. By now regular basil would look like trash, and it doesn't. It still has a lot of very, very good looking leaves on it. We are trimming it back, and I need to probably hit it again to get rid of these flowers. But look at the Thai basil. Let me hold still here for a minute. I got a scratch. There we go. Thai basil. Gorgeous stuff too. And the smell on this stuff is just heavenly. It's an old-fashioned latch and we love it. Very goof-proof, but you have to make sure it latches. Otherwise it doesn't latch. So, okay. let's go. Going back to the house. Jack got a tiny little walk, but I'm trying to make sure he gets out a couple times a day. He's not been active enough lately, and he needs the exercise. I always love it the way he walks under the edge of the truck there. I suppose if you're short, it doesn't matter. Okay, come on. All right, I just let Jack go. That's an old cat leash he's got on. But he doesn't care. He just knows he went for a walk. And he liked the idea that he got to do that. Check out the flowers. Ooh, happy. Our chrysanthemums have gone crazy the last couple of years, and they're blooming all over the place. So sometimes they bloom in the summer, sometimes they bloom in the fall. When I originally bought them, they were supposed to bloom in the fall. We had yellow ones and orange ones that bloomed earlier this year. These are now blooming now. I'll take it. They're not perfect, but they are pretty. And the marigolds are gorgeous. Just plain gorgeous. The ones underneath are the singles. Those are the Gem series by Johnny's. The ones on the top are a mishmash of assorted marigolds that we've been harvesting and raising and letting them, allowing to self-seed. See, we let them self-seed. Like there's these out here I didn't seed there for years. So they're kind of our variety at this point, and they do very well in our climate. They will bloom until they freeze to death. So very happy with that. Okay, back in the house, and I need to chat with Henry about what we're doing next. I'm going to leave these right on the counter in the kitchen. Those are the tomatoes I picked this morning. Yellow Canary and Red Robin, both dwarf plants from Haas Tools. And later on we'll try them. Henry, I thought, was in the house, but he's obviously not. So I am going to start working down the studio, because I have 1.5 million things to do down there today. So off I go. Okay, I'm on the way back down to the studio. I have 3 short pins for making dress pins. I have water, I have a camera, and I have a bunch of fibulas that need to be sharpened. Henry is working in the truck. And Jack left a landmine in the middle of the walkway here. Have to be careful of that. Our grassy path here. I've been pulling all the old stuff, but of course we've had more rain recently, so now we have new stuff. But at any rate, we are at the studio. The cave. Lots and lots of storage in here. Okay. So what I need to do today is a bunch of things. Whew. Okay, I've been doing some cleanup. I've got the floor swept. I've got water filled into some containers that I'll need for tomorrow. I have part of the electrical set up. Need to finish the electrical. I've got my investment out, which remember is the specialized plaster. I have a scale for weighing the amount of plaster. I have a special bowl. These bowls are cool. They're made out of a rubbery sort of thing, so that they're very flexible, so it's easy to scrape out the stuff. I have 2 measurement things for water. I need to get my water. I need to get my electricity finished, and then I will be ready to go. The basic process, I'm going to run through it now, because once I'm actually do it, I'm going to be wearing a respirator, because this contains bad stuff that you're not supposed to breathe, silicone. So silicone in your lungs equals silicosis. That's a bad thing. So I will be wearing a respirator while I do this, which is one of the reasons I'm sweating, because I was wearing a respirator while I was sweeping and getting this stuff set up. So basically what I will be doing is I will be measuring out a specific amount of investment. It goes into here. I set that on 0 first so that I'm weighing on the investment, not the bowl. And I'll be mixing the investment into, I'll actually weigh it in here. Water goes in here. Investment goes in on top. Stir it up till it's as lump-free as possible. It then goes over to the Vic 9 machine, which is a vacuum debubbleizer. That means I'm going to put it under the vacuum lid that I showed you guys before. It will suck the air out of the investment slurry, because it'll be like soup at that point. It'll make it bubble like crazy. I will then pour it into the flasks. I will vacuum them again to remove yet as much bubbles out of there as possible, and then set them over on the top of the dewaxer to set. And I will repeat that process. I have a total of 23 flasks that need to be invested. So I'll be running this on time-lapse. I mean, really, and I'd probably even have Henry cut it on top of that, because you really don't need to watch me do it 23 times. I can do a lot of the smaller flasks at the same time. So say if there's 3 of the big ones, so I could do 20 of them pretty rapidly. I'll probably be doing like 10 or 12 batches of investment for that, and then 1 investment batch for each of the larger flasks. I don't try and double those up. It makes it too big in here, and the larger size bowl will not fit under my vacuum dome. So yeah, time to get going. Hey guys, okay, all of the flasks are invested. They are now sitting, and they have to sit for 2 hours as a minimum. So this afternoon sometime I will take these I'll take the blue tape off around the tops, and I'll make sure that there's no investment sticking up above the metal, and I will mark them and get them completely ready. I'll pull these rubber bases off, and then I will make sure, well, the only thing I have left to do now is I have to check the water level in here. You can see it's got wax on it, and what it does is it melts out the wax, and the wax falls into this container. And I can actually peel off the wax that's sitting on the surface here, like this. I do not reuse this. They say you can, but you'd have to make sure there were no lumps and bumps and other impurities in it, otherwise you could mess up all the work that you've done in terms of creating your molds and all that kind of stuff. So I don't do that. I do, this is an expendable thing. I have burned it before in the burn barrel. It smells bad. So I don't see a reason to do that. I need to add another inch of water to this, and then it will be ready to go tomorrow morning. So, yeah, I think that's it for me. I'm running out of battery, and it is time for lunch. So I'll be working this afternoon too. I'll be doing this stuff, and I'm going to be making pins, and I'm going to be sharpening fibulas, which I've already shown you how I do that. So until next time, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell, because obviously we're doing lots here. And don't forget, keep on brainstorming, because obviously we are. So, bye.